we need to focus on maps. We want to display a map in our directions. So the first thing that we need to do, now that we have this data, we want to extract the coordinates of this particular place. Okay, so let's close this for a second. And down below, we're going to create a variable with the name code. Okay, so codes is going to be, we're going to access our restaurant object and we're going to get the coordinates. Okay, we're going to get the codes. So those are going to be our coordinates. So what we can do, we can just print the coordinates down here. We can log the coordinates. The goal is to pass these coordinates to the map that we're going to have here. So now that we have the data, what we can do, we can just go ahead, create a new component inside of our components, and we're going to call it Google Map View, and it has to be a JSX file. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the component. So here we're going to take an object with the name place lists. Okay, so here we're just going to be passing our place, the coordinates that we extracted in direction. Okay, and we need state variables. So we're going to just handle state variables first, and then we can go ahead and work on whatever we need to work on. So first we're going to have directions, and we need a setter. So we're going to have set directions. We're going to have use state. Okay, let's go ahead and close that one. So initially it's going to be an empty array, and we're going to have another state variable for coordinates, and we need a setter. Right at the bottom, we're going to have another one for map region. Okay, so we're done with that. So for map region, it's not going to be a list, but it's going to be an object. Inside of our object, we're going to require a latitude. So we have to give it coordinates here, latitude, longitude, and then we're going to have our deltas, longitude, latitude delta, and we're going to have longitude delta like that. So we need values. Okay, 356855. For the longitude, I'm going to go with 13139, something like that. That's going to be the initial values of our map region. Okay, so we're done with that. Next, let's focus on, we need our location as well. We need our location. So here, our location is going to come from our context. So we're going to have location and set location. These ones are going to use context. And we need to mention the context that we are consuming, which is user location context. Okay, so those are the state variables that we need right on top. So here, let's handle our map first, and then we can come and work on the functions to get the directions and get the coordinates, some stuff like that. So for our map, first we need to have a little bit of style to the container that's going to be wrapping our map. Styles.map container. So let's go ahead and create this map container right underneath. So for map container, we're going to have margin vertical, and we're going to have a margin vertical of 8. As for width, we're going to have a width of sizes.width, and we're going to subtract 20. Okay. Height, let's go with 300 for starters. We are going to readjust it when we are displaying our content. So we need border radius. So we're going to have BR. So for border radius, we have to give it a border radius of 12. We need border color. So for border color, we're going to give our edges a grayish color. So we need to access the colors from our constants. First, we import them. And here we need to use gray. So as we said, if we have a border color or something that has to do with borders, we need to include the border width. Otherwise, it won't be visible. So we're going to give it a border width of 1. Okay. So let's go ahead and save. So here, what we can do, we can even go ahead and try to place this inside of our directions page. So what we're going to do, we're just going to call this, okay, and we're going to close it. Places lists, we're going to pass codes. Okay, so that's the frame for our map. Okay, so let's continue. working on this page. So right inside of our map view, we're going to have not our map view, our components. We're going to require a map, okay, a map view like that. So our map is going to be a closed component, and we need to import not defaults, but we're going to use Google here. After that, we need markers, and we also need polylines, okay, like that. So now that we have our map view here, instead of our map view, we're going to require the provider. So our provider is going to be Google provider, the one that we just imported right on top. Okay. And we're going to show user location. We're going to set it to true. And as for our region, we're going to set it to map region. So let's go ahead and save. Let's save that. Let's give our map a style. Okay. Let's format this code a little bit. So we're going to have style. So we need to bring the style down. So we need to access our styles, and we're going to call this one map. Okay, so let's create a style object with the name map. So the first thing that we're going to take into consideration is our width, and our width is going to be 100%. And we're also going to have our height, and our height is going to be 100%. Okay, so we have our map showing up here, and we're in Shibuya. Let's have a border radius. Our border radius is going to be 12. Let's save. Okay. Okay. Let me do one thing here. I'm going to log location. I'm going to change this to location dot latitude. Location dot code dot latitude. Okay. That way it'll work, and it's showing the user location, so that's okay. So let's get rid of this. So we need to work inside. We need to place our markers, and then later on we're going to